to meet with management, go over the budget in detail, and ask any questions or discuss any issues with them so far. So I will start with the board. If the board has any issues they would like to discuss right now, we can start with that.
Are you going to take roll call at all?
We're going to do that at the meeting. I'm going to open the meeting after this, Jeff.
At 6.
This is just the public hearing.
Gabe, this is Glenn. Is there any member of the public on the phone?
Not as of yet, Glenn.
Okay, thank you.
We'll keep the public hearing open for 15 minutes. So if any of the members think of something they'd like to bring up, just jump in, and we'll see if we get any input from the public.
I didn't get my delivery of the pizza yet.
We had your address wrong. I'm sorry, Jeff. We can always do, Jeff.
I think some animal got it out there in front, Jeff, in the
Yeah.
woods where you live.
That's certainly possible.
That's what you get for living in the country.
That's right. Think of all the money we're saving by not serving dinners to all of us.
That's true.
But we did eat. It's good.
I just muted everybody because
Yeah.
Sal is actually on another meeting at the same time. So that's why he's in and out of it.
So I changed your name to not Ernie
Oh, I kind of like being Ernie. I like that name.
You mind having your last name there? Or
Doesn't matter. I like Williams. That's a good name.
no, you're back to open.
Jeff? Are we still muted, Gabe?
No.
Just
Nobody-
tell Jeff if he's hungry, he can have a piece of mine. I brought him some.
Virtual touring. Yeah.
Ernie, how come I can't see the one behind me?
The virtual background. That's what it's supposed to do, disguise when the kids and stuff are behind you when you're sitting at home, you know, in office, the kids are going on. That's what
There you go.
Oh, that's amazing.
There's Louis. There's Louis.
I'll send you some.
And Louis. What can I call it here? Right now we're talking. And this is going, whatever we're saying is going into the public record.
Hey, Tommy, how's the dog? Good? I have mine that everybody's up.
Oh. Yeah.
Wow. Tommy's dog's getting big.
Yeah.
Hey. How old is he now, Tom?
What kind of dog is he?
I don't think he hears us.
I can't hear you good, Tommy.
I don't know. Can he hear us?
Can you hear us, Tom?
Something on his end.
It's on your end, Tommy. I don't have you muted.
It's part of Lufthansa. They're asking for help from that airline and.
Well, say already.
Tommy's not responding, Gabe?
What, Glenn?
Is Tom not responding?
I don't even see him
He
anymore.
went. You must be calling back in. Oh, here's Bobby. All right. Bobby, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Gabe.
All righty.
Was I too early for you?
No, not at all. We're in our public hearing.
Russ.
Hi, Russ.
What kind of dog is that, Joyce?
A mutt. I'm actually, how shall I say, taking over his care because he's 11, he's almost blind, he's a type 1 diabetic, and my son has 3 kids under the age of 5 and under. And
Wow.
with all the hullabaloo, he gets really stressed there now. And so he ends up licking his one leg and getting a bad hot spot. And, you know, they don't always feed him on a schedule because they'll forget because it's so chaotic. So I said, well, I'll take care of him until, you know, his hot spot heals. And then now I have him. Yes. And he's been a good pal, you know, especially since we've been quarantined. You know, I live alone, so it's kind of nice to have, you know, the dog.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, we go on walks together and watch TV together and garden together.
Does he like the same shows?
Absolutely. I only pick him if he agrees.
Only you could come up with that, Joan.
No, he's actually gained about 6 pounds. He was so skinny you could count his ribs. So he also likes my cooking, so you know, that's cool.
Lou's gonna stay on, right, for the meeting?
Yeah. Who's on?
And where is Lou?
I just can't see his head over there. His name is,
Oh, I see him. I'm on stay, you know. Hold up.
oh, not bad. It's in the 60s. Oh, nice. No, I know it. But it's nice to be able to be outside. 86 in Florida. Yeah, 73 Friday and rain.
Here.
Hey, Gabe,
Yes.
this is Bob.
Yes, Bob.
Do you think we'll be having a regular meeting next month?
I don't know. I actually don't think so. It doesn't seem like that they're moving in that direction, but we'll make any decisions till we get closer.
Yeah, no, I know. I know he's not talking about opening it up until sometime next month, huh?
Yeah, and they're
Governor.
saying different things for different businesses.
Bob, this is Steve. We're going to discuss this probably in the regular meeting.
Yeah.
Because I would like Sid to kind of update the board on what the whole organization is doing right now.
Yeah, okay.
To address this, but we have two concerns. One is the individual safety of the staff, and then concern that people are healthy so that we can function as a critical
Oh, yeah.
service. So
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
regardless of what anybody decides, we still have to address whatever threat is there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was just curious, because, you hear so many rumors as to what's going to happen when they're going to open up. You just don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah, well, people are going to have to make some individual decisions too. It's not one
I got to
size
tell you,
fits
this is a
all.
real wake-up call for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. Well, it impacts people differently too, so.
Yeah.
In Sweden, when they haven't done anything, right? And it turns out of the 2,000 people who died, 86% of them were elderly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Steve, it's 6 o'clock.
Okay. We held the public hearing open as directed for 15 minutes at 6, closing the public hearing with the notation that there was no public input. And I will call the May 12th Greater New Haven WPCA Board of Directors meeting to order. Debbie, would you read the roll call, please?
Jerry Sullivan,
Here.
Salvatore Tacoma,
He's on.
Here.
Robert Foxigno,
Here.
Raymond Cano,
Here.
Stephen Pacheco,
Here.
Russell Steele,
Here.
Jeffrey Ginsburg,
Here.
Clayton Williams,
Here.
Michael Fabiano.
Here. Thank you, Debbie. Item 1 on the agenda is approval of the minutes of our April 14th meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Who's that?
Sal.
Sal, thank you. Second?
Joyce.
Second. This is Bob.
Second is Joyce. Thank you, Joyce. I'll give everyone a minute. If there's any comments, any corrections, omissions, please speak up. Was a good but short meeting last time. Looked through the minutes. Looks okay. Are there any comments? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
And that motion passes unanimously. Item 2 is public participation relating to agenda items. Do we have anybody from the public, Gabe?
We do not.
Okay. Moving on to item 3.
Resolved that pursuant to section 7.4 of the bylaws, by a 2/3 vote of the entire board, the authority's cost of service study, the annual budget consisting of the next fiscal year's projected expenditures and recommended user rates and charges, and the annual capital budget for the upcoming fiscal year, an annual update to the 5-year capital improvement plan, and the impact of the annual budget on next year's fiscal projected expenditures and revenues and user rates and charges, all as attached hereto as the exhibit to agenda item number 3, are hereby adopted.
Thank you, Clay. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll make the motion. This is Bob.
Bob seconds. Thanks, Bob.
Yes.
Thank you. Any comments from the board?
I just want to publicly thank management for their hard work in putting together a very good budget this year. We've tried to keep expenditures down. Once again, we have a very good budget.
Yeah, I'd like to note, just for the record, that the board did raise a number of concerns related to the pandemic and questions. They were resolved so that we're comfortable with this, and we're assured that we have the flexibility moving forward to address any financial issues that come up. So I think we're in real good shape moving forward. Gabe, from talking with everyone, is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, we'll just go over the basic issues related to the budget changes. Rate is going to $4.80 a CCF from $4.69. That's a 2.3% increase. The change in the average bill is about $15 a year, which is $3.75 a quarter. The change to the minimum bill is $10.60 a year, about $2.85 a quarter. We did increase the elderly credit by $1. We also increased the administrative fee to $60. For the good of the record, the debt service for next fiscal year is $13.7 million, which is about 31% of the budget. And then some of the discussion in regards to the board members beyond the things I just addressed, a lot of discussion in regards to Corona, as Stephen mentioned, anything related to the change that the governor's required from our 3% collection rate from our 18%, and then continuing what happens next fiscal year as it relates to the coronavirus budget impacts on that moving forward. And that discussion pretty much took place with everyone who was here. Everybody kind of had the same questions, and I think that Lou did a fantastic job. The money that we have in the budget will deal with whatever impact comes our way. We start with the contingency fund, which everybody knows is $500,000 in Sid's budget that can't be used unless it comes to the board for approval. So there's $500,000 extra. We also have the ability to deal with some of the capital project fundings and whether they're funding out of operating or capital. And if we have to, we will evaluate budget reductions if we see the revenues decrease. And we're very confident that we'll deal with whatever the impact is, and as long as this goes out. One of the other questions that came up was in regards to salary increases. The salary increases amount to about $148,000 a year. Over the next 4 years, it's about $591,000. The rest of it was basically just the normal discussions in regards to, you know, how everybody is making out dealing with the virus and the work schedules and stuff like that. And I let Sid will go into that when he talks to the board.
Thanks, Gabe. I'd also like to thank not only the finance department, but the staff for a great budget again, all the work that goes into it, and especially this year with the extra effort related to making sure that we're staged to address any potential financial problems this coming year. Any other comments from the board? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So that motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item 4, Clay.
Resolved that the agreement with RSM US LLP for auditing services for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2021, for an amount not to exceed $70,000, as further described in the exhibit to agenda item number 4, is hereby approved, and the executive director, Sidney J. Holbrook, be and hereby is authorized and empowered for and on behalf of the authority to negotiate, execute, and deliver such agreement and any and all reasonable and necessary documents in furtherance thereof.
Thanks, Clay.
So moved.
Who's that?
That was Sal.
Sal? Do I have a second?
Second?
Second, Joyce. Thank you, Joyce. Okay. Sid, are you going to talk about this?
This is mine, Steve. This is the audit every year in May. We have to agree to who the auditor is because we have to notify the state. McGladrey again is going to do our audit. We put it in not to exceed 70,000. The last audit was 68,500. It's very close to what it normally is, 68 to 70, depending on if the state comes up with any more requirements. We did some FEMA money last year that had caused some extra evaluations from McGladrey. But we think that the 70,000 will be fine, and they do a fantastic job. So we're real happy with that.
Okay. Anybody on the board have a question about that? Any comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously as well. So we are on to item number 5, and that is the executive summary. Sid?
Okay, Stephen, let me begin by saying that everyone here is healthy, and I hope that everyone on this call is healthy, and their families are, and your families are also. We are continuing to meet by way of Zoom 2 times a week. I'm getting a lot of feedback here, so it makes me a little crazy, but is there any way to deal with that, Ernie?
Would it help if we all muted?
No, it's up. All right. All right. Still there, but it's not too bad. Okay, thank you. Yeah, we meet 2 times a week on Zoom, the entire staff, those that are members of the management committee, to go over all the details of all of the various offices within the authority. And that's worked out very well. Keeps us all in touch with each other because we can't be. So that's been working very well. We are easing back in to full staffing. We've got equipment for everybody on staff to ensure that the safety of the staff in doing that. Of course, there's no public allowed in the building, and at this time we have no plans on if and when that can occur. The staff in our customer service are easing back in. They have a staggered work week, so there's always someone there. They are practicing, as we all are, social distancing, and that's worked very well. Our engineering staff is doing the same, coming back in, staggering their time here. And our field staff is available in the field every day, and they are working. The operations people are working, and they are fully staffed. Our maintenance people are fully staffed with staggering hours and staggering duties. So there is someone in the field and at the plant constantly, and we are getting the job done. The finance department's back, and they're again staggering their hours and their work. As far as the my office executive director, Debbie's in this week 5 days. I've been in, this will be I'll come in 2 days. Next week I'll come in 3 days. But we are practicing social distancing, and it's working very well. Lou in finance has prepared a briefing paper for me and for Gabe and others that shows where we are financially, and we are in a good place. As Gabe started to say, we have money that we can use in case of emergencies. So far, we don't see any really significant reduction in the dollars that we've received in to date, but there are dollars available from other sources to keep us going. So that's basically what I have. I'd be glad to answer any questions that any of you have. And if I can't answer them, the rest of the staff is here that can help me with that.
Hey, Sid. The governor issued some guidelines for the opening of certain industries, and some of those industries have to do with like offices.
Just 1 second, please. Okay, you want to do that again?
Sure, I'm sorry, Sid. The governor issued guidelines for reopening of offices on May the 20th. And there were like specific guidelines of what you got to do beforehand and during that. Do we have to follow those like guidelines for opening up the admin office?
Yes, of course we do. And our safety committee met yesterday, and they'll be making suggestions to us as to how we do that. God bless you. As to how we're going to do that and keeping everybody safe. But we are following the guidelines at this time, Clayton, anyway. As far as social distancing, who can come, what the work areas are, how they have to be cleaned. They're cleaned after everybody leaves, before they and before somebody comes back in. So that's being done.
I think it also talks about a person who has to be in charge of this, and you have to self-certify.
Excuse me?
I believe that there's a person that has to be in charge of the cleaning, and there has to be some sort of self-certification that you have done everything that's within the governor's guidelines. Have you seen those?
No, well, I've seen them. I mean, he's got so many that it's hard to keep track.
I'll send you a copy of the office guidelines just for you to take a look at them, because there is some steps that you're supposed to take and do a certification before you open up the office.
Well, I think that I don't know if he's talking about opening up offices for the staffs, and we are an essential. We were determined to be an essential business, and we've been practicing what he's, I think, asking for companies that haven't been opened up to do. I have a lot of faith in our safety committee. We just said we went by the 361st day without any kind of an incident, meaning an injury, which is testimony to what kind of work that we do here in keeping our employees safe. And those that are on that safety committee are made up of all the various employees from various different divisions within the authority. So, but as far as having someone certified, we have the cleaning people.
We have safety consultant.
We have a safety consultant. I mean, I don't know what more we can do. I have more faith, to be honest with you, and maybe I'm going on a limb here, in the people in this building and the people that are working here to make everybody safe than I do in the government of the state of Connecticut at this time.
Okay, thank you. I'll send you a copy of those guidelines after the meeting if you wanted to take a look.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Clay, your point's well taken about meeting any requirements that the state may have, but I think whatever they put out is going to be the baseline and the minimum standards, and there's no reason that we couldn't exceed those.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, they actually say that these are basically minimum standards.
Yeah.
And there is an expectation that offices will exceed them.
I know the Regional Water Authority is not changing anything until June because they wanted the time to really come up with a process moving forward long-term that was going to keep everybody safe. So they're taking a little time to really thoroughly determine what they need to do.
We don't know when we're going back to New Haven City Hall either. We've been asked to start to compile a list of what do we need to be able to make it safe for going back. One of the big issues we have is how to deal with the public.
But I think a lot of those businesses that are opening up are public businesses. We don't have to have the public in here. There's lots of ways that the public can access what we have here from working either over the computer for people in engineering, or as far as paying their bills, they can go online and pay it. They can go to their stores that take payment. So I don't see any reason why we have to rush to open up to the public. And as far as, like I said before, as far as what we're doing here in the way of safety and keeping our employees safe, I don't see what more we can do. I'll read that, whatever the governor has put out there, but I don't know how much more we can do here to ensure the safety of everyone.
Sid, do contractors come in to the organization?
No.
No? Okay.
I mean, they will go down to the plant to pull a permit, but they still have to keep their distance or drop stuff off outside, and the plans will get taken inside.
Okay, good. I just want the board to know, I did discuss this issue with Gabe. There are some people who have been extremely cooperative and flexible and are coming in the evening so that staff can get spread out. So people are taking this seriously and doing a great job.
Thank you, Stephen. And I agree. You know, all of our people here are very intelligent people, and they're very conscious of what has to be done to protect not only themselves, but the others they work with.
Sid?
Yes?
Just want to let you know, I was talking to Giovanni, our engineer. The governor made a rule about bringing more fresh air into the building. I don't know if you're aware of that. You might have to do something with your circulation to bring more fresh air into your building.
Okay. We got windows. I suppose we can open some of the windows.
It's almost time to open the doors.
Yeah.
Well,
arm guard at
you're
the
more
door.
concerned about confined space in the
I went to the liquor store today. They had their doors open, and so did some other businesses, so you don't have to touch any doors going in and out.
Well, we have plenty of wipes here, and we have all kinds of aerosols. We've got gloves, we have masks. Like I said before, we have enough protective gear here to take care of the staff. I just asked for how long of a time do you think we could go with what we have? The answer was with about 2 months. And Gary's going down to the Regional Water Authority to pick up masks. What day are you going, Gary? Friday. He's going down Friday to pick up masks from Connecticut Warren, which has been provided by FEMA? Or who gave the masks to CT Warren?
Yeah, FEMA kind of in talking to the Warren and then notifying the utilities that need it. This was focused to the water industry, both clean and dirty water. So we also have a distribution center up in Hartford, also at NDC.
Hey, Gary, while you're on, I know Clay asked the question. I don't know if the whole board was aware of the issue of COVID-19 in the the material that we get in the plant, our solid waste. But it's not an issue for us, correct?
Right. It's, most of the studies that they've shown that there is, the fragments of the virus, the RNA in there, and they can identify that, but that they've actually tried to culture it back out of wastewater and they haven't been successful. So that's where they feel that although they could be detected in the water, it's not infectious at that point.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Any other questions of Sid? We'll move on to item 6. Is there any new business, Gabe?
No, there's no new business.
No new business. Item 7 is call to the public. Anybody?
There's no public.
Okay, in that case, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
So moved.
Mike, and second,
I'll second.
I'll second, Bob.
Bob. Thank you, Bob. All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much,
Cheers.
everybody.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Stay
Everybody stay safe.
You too, Bob.
You got it.